Hey, football and beer fans. It's Dave and Chuck. We're finally back. Starting to kick this thing. We'll see how long my voice lasts. Dave may have to do most of the talking today, and that'll probably be good for everyone that's watching the show. But hey, happy NFL football Sunday, everyone. And it's good to be back and on the show. And I know I've watched football the last couple of weeks. I just can't remember it. But a lot's been going on. And but how was your week? How you doing, man? Good to see you.
Good, man. Got a big college football break now until for like a month. So it's gonna be just mainly NFL, which we don't mind. That's what we talk about on the show. We'll be getting into the late part of the NFL season, and those playoff spots are going to be ramping up. So all these games are going to be important going forward from here on out for a lot of teams, and still a lot of teams in it. Even teams with not very good records can still win some of their divisions, can still make wild cards, especially in the NFC, those wild cards. So it'll be interesting to see how the second half of the season plays out. But other than that, it's December now, so I got the stocking cap on because it's a brisk 60 here in Southern California. Got the holiday vibes. Gonna decorate the house later this afternoon and get it all festive for their winter holiday.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to football today because I know that my team is not going to lose today, and because they're on a bye. So feeling good about that. I won't have to go to bed with another loss tonight, and I will be at the Monday night game though on the 12th,
Cool.
and so against the Patriots. The Patriots are coming to town, so I'll be at the Monday night game. And good morning, Kim. Thanks for joining the show, and good to see you and everyone else back this week. So why don't we jump into it while my voice is still there? And so last week, obviously, wasn't feeling well, and my picks represented how I was feeling. 60%, I suppose. So I had an abysmal week of 6 wins, but you had a fantastic week with 11 wins and only 5 losses. And you just about caught up to me. There's only a game separating us. So I need to try a little bit harder this week and clear my mind. I did a little bit of research, not as much as I wanted to get done this week. But where do we go from here? So I guess we'll just jump right into it. And because I can't remember a lot of other things that have happened except for the Thursday night game. And we both did take the Bills. The Bills were on the road playing the Patriots. And the Bills were favored by 3.5. I thought this would be a closer game and than a 2-touchdown game. But the Bills did win 24-10. And did you see anything in this game that stood out?
Just Josh Allen, man. I mean, Josh Allen's just a beast. He had, he was really aggressive with his legs as well as throwing it down. Stephen Diggs, like he does every single game, ran some great routes. I was really interested to see how the defense would play just because Von Miller was out. So he had a rough one. We have a guest here. He won't leave me alone. Just Von Miller being out, I wanted to see how that defense and only allowing 10 points, seeing the frustration of Mac Jones on the sideline kind of yelling at coaches like, our run game sucks or whatever. He's yelling at the coaches. And, it's real interesting. They just couldn't get anything going. They had some chances where they couldn't convert on 4th downs. And Bills just played a better game, which thought they would. They're a contender this year. So, just seeing the Bills be solid still, going through the season.
Nice. But it's still kind of week after week. What kind of Bills team are you going to see? And they've shown some tendencies to either, I don't know if it's play down or just not play and drop some games there. But they're you gotta you beat Bill Belichick, and it's always a good week. Hey, before we move on, this is what I know I was forgetting is we wouldn't be a football and beer show without the beer. because that's why we're here, is football and beer. So I got a true breakfast beer this week, I think, and that is, get the face out of it. There we go. I actually picked up this Guinness Nitro cold brew coffee. It's basically beer brewed with coffee and other coffee flavors. It's only 4% alcohol, so it's pretty much has the same alcohol content as a cup of beer, or I'm sorry, cup of coffee. And so I have not had it. I opened it while we were talking pre-show, but got my little Guinness glass here with it. I always just love that color. I don't care what brand it is, just that color in a glass. And this is my glass from Fat Belly's Irish Pub in where were I was at a conference from work back near Boston. So actually, yeah. So but Fat Belly's Irish Pub, and so yeah, let's see if it tastes like coffee or beer. Oh, that tastes yeah, I don't know what that tastes like.
It tastes like something I'm not going to purchase again.
Yeah, probably not. Nah, it's man, what a buildup. What a buildup. And no, it tastes kind of like watery coffee. Doesn't have a ton of flavor. It's flat. It's absolutely, and it's a nitro.
And it's a nitro.
Yeah, it's absolutely. Guinness doesn't have a lot of depth. When you drink, it's just kind of a flat. It has that, but yeah. Sorry, Guinness. What you got on tap, Dave?
They can't all be winners.
We all we only go up from here.
Yeah. I have a local beer, and I'm kind of going holiday theme with my hat, and it's December, so I have Holiday Hijinks. Fun can. So Holiday Hijinks from Iron Fire Brewing in Temecula, California. Here, it's 5%, and it said ale, so I thought it would be more like, when I think ale, I still think beer, right? So I'm still thinking like a pale ale, something like that. It tastes more like a cider, actually. And so it is red because the flavors, It is a holiday beer. It is apple, cranberry, tiki inspired ale with cinnamon and nutmeg. So it is a festive beer, and it is fruity. And I definitely you get the cranberry heavy right off the bat. And then you get a little bit of that cinnamon nutmeg kind of on the aftertaste after it goes down. Not bad. Not really what I was expecting. I probably couldn't drink a lot of it because it's pretty sweet. It does taste, it's very fruit forward, that cranberry and tart. It's not to the tartness of, I would say it's a sour. So it's not a sour beer. Like I said, it tastes more like a cider. But it's not bad. The flavors are all there that they say that should be there. It's not an ale. It's not a beer, but it's not bad.
All right. So, but there's a lot going on in that can, man.
Mm-hmm.
The flavor profile. I bet the beerologists or whatever they call those guys, brewmasters, were like, you know what? We're taking it up a couple steps this year.
Yeah, my mom just got on. She would like this. She would like a small glass of this next to her peach. What's her new drink? Peach whiskey.
Yeah, that stuff.
She goes. Yeah,
that is that stuff's good. I Stephen Noni brought that over and had a glass of that with some club soda and ice. That was definitely gonna get a bottle of that peach whiskey, and I think it was made by Jim Beam. That was a good, nice, smooth drinking drink. Anyway, we're football and beer, so we'll just stick to that. So we got some games happening today and tomorrow, and I think we're almost back to a full slate, 15 games this week. And so we talked about the Bills and the Patriots. So first up on the docket is the Steelers are going to visit Marcus Mariota, the Falcons. The Falcons don't even get their home field 3-point advantage. And, the Falcons have been struggling a little bit, but I'm still going to take them at home over the Steelers. And, that's where I'm going there. I'm taking the Falcons over the Steelers this week.
Yeah, this is a real tough game because the Steelers are kind of, they haven't had a good season, but they're kind of wild card. You never know when they're actually going to show up and play pretty decent this year. Because even sometimes when they, lose, it's not by a lot. So they're not just getting like completely blown out. they have opportunities to win quite a few of their games that they've lost. Falcons are kind of the same. They started off pretty hot. You don't really know what's happened with them game to game. Sometimes Mariota and the receivers make some plays. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes Cordell Patterson has a big game. Sometimes he doesn't. Um, it's really hard to tell with them, but because it's only 1 point, they're at home. I'm going to take the Falcons. They have a better record. I still feel like they have a little bit, more experienced quarterback going than the rookie. They do have a playmaker in Patterson that helps. Mariota can use his legs if he needs to. They are real good running the ball. So yeah, just because it's 1 point, I'll take the Falcons also at home.
Yeah, the Falcons have a good defense as well, and so I think that's something that's sometimes overlooked. But yeah, so we're both on with the Falcons, and so I figured out the flavor profile to describe it to everyone: a Tootsie Roll.
Oh,
Kind of a flat Tootsie Roll.
yeah.
So I don't mind Tootsie Rolls, and nothing to say anything bad about the Tootsie Roll company. I would rather eat a Tootsie Roll. So anyway, all right. So the Packers, the Falcons. I had to do a little bit of digging on this one. But what you got here? Packers are on the road visiting, going to Chicago, and the Packers are favored by 4.5 on the road.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers normally dominates the Bears in Chicago, and he is going to play today. He said on the Pat McAfee show on Tuesday that he does have some abdominal situation going on, some oblique situation, but he got cleared to play.
Thumb. And
He's
a fractured
gonna
thumb.
wrap himself up or whatever. So, and even if he does have to come out, that Jordan Love didn't play too bad when he got in the last game. He was hitting targets, and I mean, they weren't making him asking a lot out of him, but I mean, he was completing passes. So, and the Bears, they're not great. They're just not. And the fact that Aaron owns them at Chicago, I'll take the Packers by 4.5. Bears just aren't very good.
Yeah, and I was one of the things I was looking up was like, all right, who's starting quarterback today? Aaron Rodgers is starting. Justin Fields is back from his shoulder injury last week. Will be starting today. So they'll all be, pretty much at QB semi full strength. I mean, everybody's banged up right now this time of the year, and I know that the Packers are 25-3 over the Bears. I know that this is an emotional kind of game for Aaron Rodgers. Likes to go to the end zone and I own you. I mean, this is I don't know why it's so big to Aaron, but it looks like everybody's taking the Packers. You're taking the Packers, and for that reason, I'm going to take the Bears. And this week in this game, they're at home. It's 4.5. I can hope for a field goal loss, and I'm just kind of hoping that the Bears defense can kind of step up to this week and make it difficult for Aaron Rodgers and that thumb. So thumb gate for me. And he's I think he's kind of looking to shut it down also, like he said, hey, we're still in the playoff on, I'm there until we're not there. So, that's got to be sitting in the back of his head. So anyway, so this game here, again, every time I bet against the Jaguars, they win. Literally every time I bet against the Jaguars, they win. The Lions somehow figure out how to win football games. I don't know who's going to win this football game. The Jaguars are favored on the road by 1. Trevor Lawrence is finally playing like he's supposed to be playing. They were ballsy and went for 2 to win the game last week. And I'm taking the Jaguars on the road. And taking the Jaguars on the road. Actually, I picked up this morning. I was just looking at doing my research and got this receiver that I picked up that nobody picked up for the Jaguars, Zay Jones, and had a big week last week, projected to have another big week this week. So I went ahead and put him in for I had Valdez Scandalene or whoever. I've had him, and he's only projected to get like 6 points. And so I was like, I'll give this Zay Jones a chance this week. And he had like 17 points last week. So like, all right, I'll give you a go. So anyway, I've taken the Jaguars on the road.
Yeah, I'm doing the same, kind of for a similar reason that you mentioned. The Jaguars stepped up and went for it and got the win. And I feel like that kind of momentum can really bring a team together and give them confidence, especially a struggling team. And I don't know really how much confidence Detroit has. They're not getting wins. They're not a great team still. The fact that you would think the Lions would almost get that 3 points as the home team with this matchup, but the fact that they're not, I think, says a lot. And so I'm going to also take the Jaguars on the road to win it, basically in a pick 'em.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're both 4-7, and again, what's funny is like every time I pick against the Jags, they win. They've only won 4 times. So obviously, I've picked against them 4 times because they've kind of screwed me every week, I think. But yeah, they're both 4-7 teams, but the Jaguars really are playing much better than a 4-7 team, and better than their record, I guess. All right, so this was another one that I dug deep in. I dug deep into the bowels of Google and the interweb, and because I wanted to find a reason to not pick the Vikings. And let's see who picked last. Did I pick the last one?
Yeah.
Who you got here?
This one was a tough one for me because the Jets, when they play good, they play really good. But now that Wilson's out, White had a very good game when he played last week. He had 3 touchdown passes, but is that him every game? Like, you haven't seen enough to know if he's going to be consistently good. And the Vikings have playmakers all over. I mean, Thielen's picking it up right now. Jefferson's just the stud he always has been. It's really up to the Vikings defense. And I think against a Mike White, I'll take the Vikings at home by 3. They have a good fan base. They're a good team. They have a good record. And I feel like they're going to get this home win. They need to get these wins to try to stay, at the top of the NFC, to try to get maybe the 1 seed still. That's probably going to go to the Eagles, but if seeding's important, they're going to want to get as many wins as they can. They basically already have the NFC North. I mean, none of those other teams, Packers, Bears, Lions, are going to catch them at this point. So they already wrapped up their division, but for seeding, they need to keep winning, and for confidence, I'm going to take the Vikings at home by a field goal.
Okay. Like I said, I always look for a reason not to pick the Vikings. And Mike White came in, threw for over 300 yards. Yeah, right. Is that going to be a consistent theme? The coach has already said that it's Zach Wilson's team still. Wants to get Zach Wilson back in there. So Mike White is playing week after week like it's his last week. This kid's got nothing to lose. And the defense for the Jets is actually in many areas in the top 5. And they got 34 sacks, top 3 in the league. Or they're in the top 3. They can put pressure without blitzing and on the quarterback. So we'll see if they can do that today. Their turnovers or picks, interceptions. Sorry, they're one of the top teams. So they also no tight end has yet scored on the Jets this season, and so there's a lot of things on the Jets defense that doesn't put it all on Mike White. And I'm going to go out. My fearless pick of the week is going to be the Jets. And, again, I don't know if it's an emotion. I just do not like the Vikings. Not as bad as much as I don't like the Cowboys, but I really don't like the Vikings. And I think it'll be a much better team once Kirk Cousins moves on. I think that's what's holding them back. And the stats will not agree with me, whatever, but it's the truth. When you look at teams, and you see the teams that have always struggled and then win a Super Bowl, you always see what was that missing piece. And a lot of times quarterbacks hold them back. I think that's the thing with the Cowboys. They've just never got that right quarterback. in the last decade to really get them above and over and above. And I think a lot of it drives behind a quarterback, not to say that it's all in the quarterback, but the whole team dynamic comes around. And anyway, off my soapbox, simply saying that the Jets are going to win this game and cover the 3. So don't lose by 3, Jets. All right. Commanders and the Giants. So the Commanders are, gosh, who could ever pick against the Commanders? They're going in to play the G-Men at home. They're in New York. The Commanders are just finding a way to win the football game every single week. Except this week, I'm taking the Giants.
Taking the Giants. I think I'll differ with you on this one. I like that Heineke magic. He does have some playmakers and Samuels and McLaurin, and the Giants just aren't. Daniel Jones just isn't consistent enough for me yet. And if you can stop Saquon, he doesn't really have a lot to throw to. So, and the Commanders' defense is coming on too. Along with their offense playing a bit better under Heineke. So I think I'm going to take the Commanders. So I'll differ with you here, and I'll take the 2.5, win by a field goal.
Okay. Alrighty. I was just trying to see if we might luck out and get a snow game, but doesn't look like it. 44 degrees right now in New York. Mostly clear. Winds around 9. I'm still waiting for that first snow game, man.
It would have been in Buffalo, but there was too much a couple weeks
much.
ago. Yeah,
too much.
Which I never heard of that before. Too much snow. I was like, what?
5 feet of snow is too much. Come on.
You just took away an epic game away from us. Get up early, plow the field, get all them people in Buffalo with snow shovels to get to the stadium so they can shovel their aisles off, get into the stadium. I thought that was a missed opportunity because everybody loves watching those games. You start taking those away, it's not football anymore. I mean, I played in a 3 degree game with sleet coming down in my face that felt like needles in high school, and I wasn't getting paid millions of dollars. We didn't get canceled. I was freezing my ass off. We all were. Every single play was just pain. It was just every play was pain. It didn't matter what happened. Something touched you, you hurt. Right. And it's like if you've played in that before, you want to see that game because you know what it's like, and it's just that more enjoyable because you know what they're going through, and they're really, really earning their money on games like that. I mean, that was a bummer.
And it's why you have teams in locations like that, and they don't have a dome. They went and played in a dome in Detroit, and it changed the whole dynamic of your home field advantage. And sure, the whole reason was safety. The stadium is in a neighborhood. Most people park on people's lawns and driveways. And so it was really getting safety vehicles in and out. So I guess they're building a new stadium or somewhere that's going to be a little more accessible. And so I don't know if I don't remember if it was going to be a dome or not. I hope not. There's too many domes, and you should, if it snows in the months of November, December, and January, you should not have a dome.
Well, there's a lot of people right now complaining too about AstroTurf. There's a bunch of players complaining about it. A lot of guys are tearing ACLs, and turf toe is still a thing. And even though they've done a lot to upgrade turf over the years, football should be played on grass. Football was meant to be played on grass. Should be played on grass. I feel the same about baseball. I don't think you should have turf in baseball.
No.
You shouldn't be able to hit a grounder and it bounces 12 feet.
Exactly.
It should be dirt and grass. If you're playing outside, that's what you should be playing on.
Yep. You should. I mean, I definitely agree with baseball. Other than the fact that if the ball's a lot hotter, maybe there's more base hits, because I think it's too hard to get a base hit in baseball. And but especially in the infield, obviously in the infield, it's just automatic. They should just call the runner out. The ball's hitting the infield, just call the runner out before the play's even made. Because there's too few errors. Anyway, football show. So you got the Commanders, I got the G-Men, and Commanders are finally going to go down this week on the road. All right, so the Titans and the Eagles. The Eagles are favored at home by 5.5. And who you got here?
Eagles. I just don't. I mean, the defensive line, now that they got Ndamukong Suh also in that, they got a couple veteran, more defensive linemen to shore up that run stuff in Philadelphia. You can stop Henry. You know, your favorite guy, Tannehill, isn't going to beat you with the receivers he's got. And there's no way in a shootout that the Titans can keep up with the Eagles. So, you know, Eagles are kind of on a magical year this year. I got to keep rolling with that Eagle team at home for sure against the Titans.
So it's 25 degrees in Waitsburg and snowing. So let's go out and play some football. That's what I did as a kid. My friends and I, if it was snowing, we went to DeSales and we played football on the football field at DeSales. And that was our winter. And I mean, over and over, we were crazy. There's nothing better. Again, it's those memories like you were just talking about. There's just nothing better than, you know, going for a pass and diving or reaching out and just landing in snow, you know, and it's just, you know, yeah, those are just great memories. So I do miss visiting snow, Kim. I do not miss living in snow and having to start the car early or chip the car to get the door open to be able to start the car to thaw the car out. Do not miss those days. So Kim's taking the Eagles. Jim's taking the Eagles, and I'm taking the Eagles as well. So we are all on board with the Eagles this week to win at home by 5.5 points. So Broncos and Ravens. Gosh darn it, you know, I hate these big point spreads. The Ravens just really are struggling here, and 8.5 against the Broncos. The Ravens are at home. Taking the Ravens still.
That's a big spread, but the Broncos do suck. They got banged up running backs. They got probably a mentally at this point banged up Russell Wilson. Their defense hasn't been as good as I thought they would be the last couple weeks. And even though Lamar Jackson doesn't have a ton to work with of his weapons, it seems like this year, I mean, holy moly. I think Hollywood Brown in Arizona should ask for $1 billion because look at Lamar Jackson now without him. He was like his only weapon, and you can see it. It's painfully obvious that without a receiver of that caliber, at least on the field, the Ravens are a completely different ball club when they don't have a deep threat. But man, that is a big spread. Does Russell Wilson suck this much? There's so much turmoil in Denver right now with just the coaching and the quarterback and the players I think I gotta take the Ravens just because sometimes Lamar Jackson can run for 200 yards and score 3 touchdowns by himself, and I don't see Russell doing that. So yeah, I got to stick with you. I got to go Ravens, even though that is a very big spread for a struggling kind of Ravens team right now. The Broncos are just struggling that much more, I think.
Broncos only won 3 games this season.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Yeah.
No offense, like the last 3 or 4 games, like hardly any offense at all.
And I think Russell Wilson is losing the locker room.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and there's probably a lot of people that thought, you know, him coming in was going to change that whole city around. Whole city dynamic, team play, and it's just kind of been the opposite. I mean, if I'm Russell Wilson, this is not how I want to go out of the NFL, right?
Well, media-wise, they're already like, I mean, every ex-teammate of his has basically badmouthed him on air on some sort of broadcast or podcast or, you know, ESPN or somewhere. You know, I mean, don't know how many friends he's got left, but seems like he's kind of all alone right now. And because everyone just says team 3. So it's like, unless you're close to him, that's it. Like, and that's not very beneficial when you're supposed to be the leader of a whole franchise. So, yeah, he's in trouble.
All right, so the Browns, the Deshaun Watson Browns, are going to go visit the 1-win Texans. They do have a tie, so doesn't count as a loss, I guess. But the 1-win Texans are at home against the rookie, the Cleveland Browns rookie, Deshaun Watson. First game back. Yeah, who you got here, Dave?
I don't know, but he hasn't played in a long time, so it's going to be pretty rough for him. He'll probably need a massage after the game. Stat. I just can't pick the Texans for anything. It's one of those bad jokes where it's like, could Georgia beat the Houston Texans? Like, they've won one game, they tied another one, and that was like at the start of the season before teams even knew what was happening. They just don't have any. They got that rookie, could be rookie of the year, Pierce in the backfield, but you shut him down, and they're maybe not scoring any points at all. There's just no threat whatsoever on that team. There's nobody you would pay a ticket. That's what I feel bad for, like teams like this, like fans of the Houston Texans. We know how expensive it is to go to an NFL football game. There is not one player, I'm sorry, Houston Texans whole roster, there's not one player I would pay $200 or whatever for to go watch.
Right.
They don't have one guy on the team I would buy a jersey for, even if I like the team. I'd probably be buying throwback jerseys, the guys that retired 15, 20 years ago. Like, there's nobody on that squad I would want to collect their card of, have a poster in my room, jersey, like I said. Like, there's just nobody to back on that whole squad, really, except for maybe that rookie running back. But, I mean, for that reason, I got the Browns. I basically have two running backs on the Browns that are just as good, if not better. Chubb is definitely better than the good running back that Houston has, and there's not much of a pass game for Houston. At least the Browns have Cooper. So, yeah, I think this is an easy win for the Browns. Their offensive line should smash the Texans' defensive line. I think they'll win by a touchdown, probably just running the ball the whole game. They could win by a touchdown.
Yeah, and all that said, the Texans all season have found in most games a way to keep it close. But they're really a mess. I know the Texans are going to lose. They're probably going to lose by 7. There's going to be a lot of hype with the Browns. Even if you kept the playbook simple with passes for Deshaun, he's going to make those passes. It's not like he just got to training facility this week. He was able to be there, I think, a few weeks ago. So he's, to practice, can't play. So he's had time to acclimate into the offense. And the Browns should win this easily. I went on to the interweb and just to look. And so out of the 32 teams, Houston ranks 18th with an average attendance this year of 68,000 fans. And a lot of them are probably coming to watch other teams that are visiting. And, what's interesting is because I'm looking at this list, okay, well, I'm here in Arizona. Where do we stand? And Arizona is 27th out of 32, but only 3,000 fans behind, 65,740. The worst team in the NFL is Washington, and then Chicago, Las Vegas. Las Vegas is 30th. That
probably because it's so freaking expensive. And everyone's too hungover the night before to remember they bought tickets to the game. Or they're back in the casino trying to win their money back that they lost the night before. They don't end up going.
Who do you think the top team is for average attendance?
Well, we have to take in consideration probably stadium size because Packers are always a sellout, but that's not a big stadium. I would probably say it's probably like Dallas or Dallas.
Dallas. 95,000, 93,000 on average. And then it dropped from 93,000 down to 79,000 with the Jets. And,
most stadiums don't even hold that 90,000.
I think that's what it is, and more seats, and you can also offer a lot of seats then at lower prices as well. Anyway, nice little Kim's guess was Kansas City. So Kansas City is 6th, 73,000. Anyway, and there's not a ton of difference between all of them, to be honest. I mean, As soon as you get rid of Dallas, 79,000 down to 57,000, but most of them are in the 60s and 70s. I mean, there's really only a 20,000 seat or person. And again, based on size. Anywho, all right. That was a nice little rabbit trail. All right. So we both got the Browns here to win by 7. The Seahawks are playing the Rams. The Rams have shut down Matthew Stafford for the season, even though everyone says he could technically be back for week 17. But why? When you suck as bad as this is one of the largest, I think, downfalls I've seen a Super Bowl team that did not lose a lot.
Oh, it's the biggest I've ever seen.
I mean,
I don't
you
think
did
it's
not
even
lose a
close.
lot of talent. You lost Von Miller, and you lost Woods, right? Robert Woods.
Yeah, Beckham.
Or is he still Odell Beckham, right? But he was only there part of the season.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't lose the level of talent to be a 3 or 4 win team.
They added defense.
Yeah. I mean, the Rams are 3-8. They're worse than the Arizona Cardinals, who we're calling for everyone in the world to be fired right now in management. Everyone, they've only won 3. They're worse than the Arizona Cardinals. So yeah, I've definitely absolutely taken the Seahawks here without a doubt. I don't care if the point spread was 15. I don't even remember what it was. Everybody's taking the Seahawks, 7.5 points. Seahawks at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. I'm taking the Seahawks.
Yeah, I got to take the Seahawks. Just the Rams aren't going to be able to score any points. So, I mean, even if the Rams defense shows up, they're not going to be able to score with them. And I feel like the Seahawks could win this game 10-0, even if the Rams showed up. Like, I don't see the Rams scoring. So,
yeah,
I have to take the Seahawks.
Cool. So, hey, next game. This could be one of the games of the week. I'm really looking forward to, I think, was it the Jets-Vikings game, I think, was one I was looking forward to. But the Dolphins-49ers. So the Dolphins are coming all the way across the United States and to play the 49ers. 49ers got a 4-point spread at home. To me, this is either not very respectful of the Dolphins or this is over-respectful of the 49ers. Who you got here?
This is such a crazy spread to me. I didn't expect. I thought maybe we would get the home field 3 potentially. Debo's still kind of banged up, so I don't know how much he's going to go. McCaffrey's a bit banged up. Plus, you got to remember the Miami Dolphins head coach was our offensive coordinator last year. Both of their starting running backs, Mostert and Wilson, were 49er running backs. Wilson was a 49er running back this season up until a few weeks ago. So there's a lot of I know you, you know me, going to be going on with the coaching, with the players. Their head coach is going to know all of our offensive strengths and weaknesses in the system. So it's going to be a real interesting game to see how it goes down. Really, since the start of the season, I had this one circled on my calendar almost than any other game just because of the coaching situation. But I have to take my team, of course. I didn't expect us to be favored by 4. I actually was surprised we were even favored, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just with the weapons that, Tyreek Hill and Waddle and the way Tua can sling it, although we have one of the best defenses in the league. Still, our offense isn't stellar all the time. It's hit and miss. We'll have great days on offense, and then we'll have games where we're just okay. We're not that consistent on offense still. So I was a little bit surprised because the Dolphins can really score a lot of points. But I got to roll with my squad. I got to hope that the line spread makers are right and go with my Niners.
Yeah, the Dolphins are 8-3 to 7-4 with the 49ers. And I just think that the Dolphins have just too many weapons. and they're not taking anything away from the 49ers. I've been picking the 49ers quite a bit this year, where it's warranted, even in close games. But I'm taking the Dolphins here on the road. The weather is going to be just under 60. There's some rain this morning. So there could be some rain during the game. Doesn't matter to either team. It rains a lot in Florida, and that won't throw off the Dolphins. I mean, Dolphins, they swim, right? You know, 49ers, they just hang out by the water digging gold, you know? So they probably go hide in a cave or something when it starts raining. I don't know. But
And Vikings didn't even ever fly on a jet, so I don't know how that's going to work. Weren't even invented yet.
So here's a game that I'll pick up on you this week. That's a bold prediction right there.
Because we're only going to win by 3.
Oh, smack talk there. I'll take it. I'll take it.
I'll take the win too. I'll lose a pick to get the win.
All right. So the Chiefs are going on the road to play the Bengals. I think we're going to find out exactly who the Bengals are this week. Absolutely. I mean, this is a team that should have been able to make it all deep in the playoffs, back to the Super Bowl potentially. And they just haven't been playing to the potential. But now they're going to be playing the number one offense in the league, in the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are favored by 1.5 on the road. I'm actually surprised this isn't a bigger spread, and because Kansas City's 9-2, the Bengals are 7-4. I thought this would be a bigger spread, but I'm taking the Chiefs on the road.
Yeah, this was the other game that I really saw this week that I wanted to watch. Joe Burrow is actually 2-0 against Mahomes in head-to-head matchups with the AFC Championship last year. So, but I still like the Chiefs. That Mahomes magic, it's hard to pick against Mahomes, especially when he can hit Travis Kelce for 3 touchdowns on any given game. They can just do that, and they've done it multiple times. And without Joe Mixon running back for the Bengals, that puts a whole lot on Joe Burrow's shoulders. I don't think his wide receivers are quite all 100%. I know Boyd's kind of banged up. Chase is a bit banged up. Higgins has been playing really well. But I don't know. The Chiefs they have that magic. They got that Mahomes magic where he can just pull stuff out a little bit more than Burrow. So I think this is the game where Mahomes finally gets that head-to-head win against Joey B on the road. So I'll take the Chiefs also.
Good. Chargers and the Raiders. Mike Williams is still out. Can't try to come back one game. Hurt himself again, his ankle again in the game. Guy's I think is so impactful to the Chargers. But they're still favored on the road in Las Vegas. And as bad as the Raiders are, and that's another team that probably should have fired their coach, unless they just we don't care. We just don't care this season. We'll try again next season. And but yeah, they're a really bad team. And I don't know if I picked last time, but I'm taking the Chargers on the road.
Yeah, I actually thought the spread would be a little bit bigger, but I think the fact that the Raiders have played a little bit better the last couple weeks, they got that overtime win. I think that just pushed the point spread down a little bit, and they're at home, which I don't really know how much that matters since no one's obviously going to the games like we saw from your stat earlier. But yeah, I have to take the Chargers. I mean, they're just more solid, I think, right now. And I thought the spread would be a little bit bigger, so that it's only 1.5. I'll definitely take the Chargers on that spread.
Cool. So we're both on with the Chargers. All right, Dave, pick this one. Colts, Cowboys. Cowboys are home, favored by 11. Is our high school coach undefeated?
No, he lost. He lost like the last 2 games, I think. He won the first one, lost the last 2. But they've been close. He hasn't got lit up or anything. Like, they've been in every game. They've been close. I think the Steelers beat them at the end of the game last week or something like that. They came back and beat them at the end, and then the week before they lost, but they were still in it. So yeah, there's been no blowouts. They've won and lost two close ones. And I think just for that fact and the fact that I hate the Cowboys, um, I'm going to pick the Colts because 11's big. Like I said, they've kind of rallied around Jeff Saturday. They're not winning all their games, but they're not getting their ass kicked. They're really playing hard. And Matt Ryan's back in, so he can
Yeah.
at least, if he's not having one of his crazy turnover games, if he can just not turn the ball over. And Jonathan Taylor's been back in the fold, running the ball a lot better since Jeff Saturday's gotten there. I think maybe they could keep it close. So I don't expect them to win, but I think they could keep it under 11. I mean, they can still lose by a touchdown and a field goal, and we got it. Like
Sure.
11's a lot. So I think they can keep it close enough to get the spread.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm taking the Colts, and just because of the point spread, and I think that I did think they had won at least two games. I didn't watch any. I was sick last week. I didn't watch any football last Sunday. If I did, I don't remember it. But yeah, I'm taking it definitely because of the spread. That I think I'm happy that Matt Ryan is back in there, at least to make some veteran decisions. And even if you lose, there's still, I still trust his reads better. So and he can still sling it. So yeah. So Colts. I don't think no one else was on board with us. They're taking the Cowboys to win by 11, folks. Not just to win the game. I just want to remind you that we've got to pick against the spread, not just who you think is going to win the game. And so if you think they're going to win by 11, that's a bold prediction. It's warranted. I mean, the Cowboys now. I mean, they have been winning as of late. Cowboys are 8-3, and Indianapolis is 4-7-1. So, I mean, it's not a bad pick now that I think about it, but still, it's a lot of points. All right, so last game. So the Colts, Cowboys are tonight. Tomorrow we have the Saints, Bucks. Probably not. They probably should have flexed this one out for. This is probably not a lot of people going to watch this game. I don't know. But Saints, Bucks, who did I put down? I'm just going to go through. I put the Bucks by 4 at home. I'm taking Tom Brady at home by 4 on primetime TV.
Yeah, the Saints are just kind of miserable this season. I mean, Andy Dalton's not going to do a whole lot for you. Teams have been shutting down Kamara pretty well. He hasn't had a big game in a while. All their receivers are still injured, so they can't drum up a lot of offense. Their defense is okay, but I mean, on any given Sunday, Tom Brady could light you up. That defense could show up, and their linebackers, White and David, can make plays enough to shut down Kamara that they can't score, and Brady can still sling it around good enough that he's going to get yards and points. And I'll take the Bucks at home. I'll take the GOAT at home on a Monday night. He likes those big national televised games too. He knows he's on. He's the GOAT. He's a professional. He knows when the big lights are on and he's on national TV that it's time to step up and get his team going. So just for basically Tom Brady reasons, I'm going to take the Bucks.
Yeah. So we are both on board with the Bucks, and so that's Monday night's game. Right now it is 11 minutes to game time. So we definitely got you out of here before the game, so you can check in and get your snacks and drinks and whatever it is you got ready for morning NFL football. If they had that here, I'd definitely check that one out. I'll go Total Wine and see if that's something that they could carry.
Yeah, it's a local one, so I don't know if we'll be there. Yeah, you got Frosty smoking a blunt. Yeah, quite the can art. What's funny is this is brewed in Temecula. So, if you on the show don't know, like a lot of states know, marijuana is legal in California. But in our town and the town next to us, they don't allow a storefront. So you have to drive, 30 minutes away or whatever to other towns for storefronts, even though it's legal. Our town won't allow storefronts. So it's funny that a local beer has all this, this on their can because they can't even sell that in our town.
Right. Well, yours. Hopefully, yours is more joyful. Thank you, but no, thank you. Guinness
Yeah.
on the nitro cold brew coffee beer. Um, I might find someone to donate the other 3 pints to.
You
Who
got a
do I
white
not
elephant?
like?
You
Who
got a
do I
white
not?
elephant party to go to? Stick that in a holiday bag and
There's only 3 cans in here.
yeah, the bottom is singles. Just take
I'll
them,
put this.
take them off the holder, and
I'll put my
yeah,
glass in the holder for the 4th.
yeah.
So, all right, folks. Thanks everyone for watching the show this week on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. We love having you guys here, being a part of the conversation. Tell your friends about the show. Get them to tune in. Also, I'd like to know the software we use to run the show. It schedules everything, and it used to send out immediately a notification. Let us know if you're getting the notifications of our show. And because when I pushed out the notification, I didn't get an immediate scheduling thing. But Facebook is now treating things a little bit differently as events, I guess. So just make sure that let us know in the comments if you're watching now or watching during the week, if you're getting the notifications about our show when it's scheduled and beforehand. Usually it'll send you something out like 10 minutes ahead of time, I think, and when it starts. So because if not, we want to make sure that we let you guys know when we schedule the shows that, when they're going to be, and so that you have your reminders and everything. So, Dave, any last thought? What's your game of the week, buddy, before we go?
I think it's got to be my game. Dolphins, Niners, two teams, 2 winning teams need to stay up near the top of the division. I was just thinking about it too. Like, we really need this win because we only have a 1-game lead on the Seahawks, and they almost have a surefire win against the Rams today. So to keep our lead in that division, we need to win to stay ahead, because I feel like if we lose, the Seahawks could easily be tied with us again this week. So that one, and then watching Mahomes, Burrows match up, those two young quarterbacks, basically the future of the league at quarterback there with them, and throw Josh Allen in there, and there's your trio of guys that are the next, big time quarterbacks for the next decade. So.
All right, man. Well, have a fantastic week. On behalf of Dave, I'm Chuck. Let's enjoy football, everyone, and we'll see you next week. Bye now.